Hey guys, what's up? It's Eric with Advanced Level Automotive. I wanted to make a real quick video. I had a BMW 2007 BMW 328i with a no start condition. It cranks but it doesn't start. And this car was really kicked my ass, and I just wanted to share my experience with you guys. Check it out, it's actually snowing today here in Houston, Texas, so really it's more like ice. But anyways, we just don't see that real often around here, especially not like we have this past year. I mean, this year we've had another day of snow. I was letting this Beamer thaw out over here. This is not the Beamer I was having an issue with. This Beamer is over here. So anyways, long story short, this car has been through 3 different shops. Initially, the problem that it had was it was running rough. And the customer took it in to the first shop. They replaced some coils, I think, spark plugs. I'm not too sure. Anyways, it went from that guy to another guy. And then after that, it went to the dealership. And somewhere in between jumping from shop to shop, the car became a no start. Which, I mean, I think is kind of funny. But anyways, at the dealership, they wanted $1,000 up front because they were thinking it was a timing problem. So they wanted $1,000 up front for them to, I guess, remove the timing cover or remove the valve cover or whatever to verify that the timing was on or whether it was off. And actually, the service writer at the dealer is a buddy of mine, and the car actually belonged to his nephew. And so he called me up, and you know, he wanted to see if he could tow the car down here so I could check it out. So I told him, you know, go ahead. Anyways, so I got the car. Again, it cranked, but it didn't start. You could sit there and crank it all day long. The car wouldn't start. So when I got the car here, I was able to quickly verify whether or not the timing was on or off, just by doing a cam and crank correlation using a lab scope. Pretty easy to do on this car. The cam sensors are up here. Crank sensor is a little difficult to get to, but it's not impossible. And I was quick to verify that the timing was not off. And so I just kind of moved forward. Again, the car would crank, but it wouldn't start. So first thing I wanted to do was a compression test. So I pulled out the spark plugs, and of course the plugs were fouled with gas, so I had to clean up the spark plugs, and I did a compression test on it, and I found that cylinder number 2 was low on compression, where the rest of them were around like 250 psi. Cylinder number 2 was pretty low. It was around 100. So after verifying that cylinder number 2 had low compression, I did a leak down test to verify that it wasn't a problem with the head or the valves, and I verified that it was a problem with the piston rings. And I've seen this before. I've had other BMWs where the rings, they seize up, I guess from carbon buildup. And so what I did was I used some of this AC Delco upper engine cleaner. I'll put a link in the description, but this stuff works really good. You just pour it in the cylinders and leave it overnight, and in the morning you just blow the cylinders out. And it really helps to unstick the seized up rings. So anyways, I did that the next day, cleaned it out, checked the compression, and compression was 250 all the way across the board. So compression was good on the engine. I put the spark plugs, like I said, I cleaned them up because they were fouled, stuck them back in the engine, and went to go crank it. Again, it would crank, but it wouldn't start. You can sit there and crank it all day, car would not start. So check spark, I checked fuel pulse, make sure that the fuel injectors are spraying. Of course, I know they're spraying because the spark plugs are getting fouled out. And man, I was really going back and forth with this one. It was kind of taking me for a ride, because then I wasn't sure, you know, why it wasn't starting, if the timing was on and everything else was good. And there were no codes stored in the computer, no DTCs at all. The only DTCs that would pop up were misfire DTCs. And so that really got me, because I was really hoping that I would get some type of code that would give me a direction as to where the problem is. And so, you know, I was kind of going back and forth with this thing. I had to go back and double check my timing, doing the cam and crank correlation. And I spent almost 3 days on this car. And let me just get straight to the point. I'm going to show you where the problem is. This is, well, I have it out right here, but this is the mass airflow sensor right here. And I'm telling you, there were no codes that were coming up for this mass airflow sensor. But in my in my frustration with the diagnostics process, you know, I was just going over everything, and I finally decided to try and unplug the mass airflow sensor. And when I did, boom, the car started up. And so, I mean, I really just wanted to share this experience because, like I said, if you run into this problem, you could have a problem with the mass airflow sensor, and it may not even generate a code for you. You may not have any DTC showing up in the computer for the mass airflow sensor, but you could still have a dead mass airflow sensor. Anyways, I just wanted to share this experience with you guys. If you have a problem with the BMW that's a no start, and you know, maybe you're thinking it's a timing issue, or you're thinking it's something else, or you've already tried everything, just try unplugging the mass airflow sensor and see if the car will start, because that's what happened here. And anyway, so I was able to save the guy a lot of money, because, you know, if the dealer were to have ripped off the valve cover to check timing, you know, that would have been a big waste of money, because they would have just found that the timing was correct and that they had to head back in a different direction, and who knows where this may have led. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching the video. I hope this video is informative and it's useful for you. If you like the channel, please subscribe, and if you like the video, please like the video. If you have any questions, you can always comment down below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bam.